G'day everyone, Artist Wayne and Jacqui here, riding on the famous Pichi Richi Railway. On what was a cracker day, we were enjoying this unique experience, travelling on some of the original Gan line on narrow gauge railway up through the Pichi Richi Pass from beautiful Quorn railway station to Woolshed Flat. And you might remember in the last episode, whilst we were in Quorn, that the train wasn't running. So we might as well start at the beginning, folks, because it's the best place to start. After 7 glorious days camping in Quorn, where everything's beautiful except for the water, that stuff tastes like shit, Jacqui and I left and headed deeper into the Flinders Ranges. However, we didn't get far before pulling over to check out Death Rock. The lightly wooded hills on either side of Kanyaka Creek were a benign environment for the Aborigines. Blue bush and salt bush and seasonally grassy swards provided ample shelter for the small mammals and reptiles which were their food. There's also an account of a family group attending an old person at the point of death who wanted to die in the shadow of the large rock by the waterhole. Leaving the sufferer in the shadow with a supply of food and water, other family members camped nearby, checking from time to time until death occurred. This is of course the origin of the name Death Rock, which is now an Aboriginal heritage site. The name Kanyaka may be derived from an Aboriginal word meaning place of stone. European settlers were also attracted to the Kanyaka Creek environment. In the 19th century, sheep and cattle stations occupied huge areas, and Kanyaka Station was no exception. And remember the grave of Hugh Proby that Jacqui and I visited when staying in Quorn. He took out the first leases at Kanyaka, which covered 101 square miles. Unfortunately, poor Hugh, the son of an English earl, drowned in the flooding Willocra Creek. And the leases were then taken up by partners Alexander Grant and John Randall Phillips. Phillips left Kanyaka in about 1881 after striving against the odds for the best part of 30 years. All that's left of a once thriving sheep station are these ruins and an old cemetery. Now it's a good thing Jacqui and I were only travelling about 40 minutes today, because there are loads of beautiful old ruins and cemeteries between Quorn and our destination, which just happened to be Hawker. Here in the Flinders Ranges, everything's old. Old ruins, old cemeteries, and it's as dry as a dead dingo's donga. Once a thriving railway town, Hawker retains much of its 1880s charm. It's an excellent base for day trips, as well as offering shops, an airstrip, vehicle repairs, hospital, sports centre, scenic flights and four-wheel drive tours and hire. This would be our home for the next week or so, and the good thing about Hawker is they have a desalination plant, so you could drink their water without getting sick. The town of Hawker was proclaimed on July 1, 1880 and named after Sir George Charles Hawker, a leading figure in South Australian politics. Before 1880, the area around Hawker had been taken up as pastoral lease by vast stations including Arkaba, Wilpena and Winoka. Jacqui and I reckon the best way to get to know a town is to get up early and go walking. So today we were walking up Police Hill Lookout. In the past, Police Hill was used as a paddock for the police horses and stray stock found in town, hence the name. And for some stunning panoramic views of the surrounding area, just head to Jarvis Hill, Camel Hump or Castle Rock lookouts. And talking about panoramic views, Well, when you're in Hawker, there's one thing you definitely must do, and that's visit the Jeff Morgan Gallery. This is where you'll feast your eyes on awe-inspiring panoramic paintings, including Wilpena Pound from St Mary's Peak, Rons Creek and Arkaroola Waterhole. These magnificent paintings come complete with real bush foregrounds. Jeff has literally taken his art to the next level by bringing in tons of rock, sand, dirt and scrub, along with sounds of the bush to allow the viewer to be completely immersed in Jeff's fantastic art. With an incredible rock, mineral and plate collection, along with some cars and a wool shed, Jeff's own life story is just as amazing as his paintings. And he rides a motorcycle, so you know he's a good bloke. So this is an experience not to be missed. We're heading back to Quorn for a train ride on the Richi Pichi Railway.
I think you'll find it's the Pichi Richi Railway.
Well, we'll see. Today, Jackie and I were excited to be taking a journey into history by travelling through the Pichi Richi Pass. The narrow gauge railway line opened to Quorn in 1879, forming the first part of the Port Augusta and Farina Railway, which was intended to link Port Augusta to Darwin. Today, the Pichi Richi Railway is completely run by volunteers, and the Pichi Richi Railway Preservation Society was established in 1973 with the objective of preserving the dry stone walls and bridges along the old Ghan line. Since then, they've added rolling stock, which volunteers continue to restore and preserve, and operate steam and diesel services from March to November. Today's train ride would take us from Quorn to Woolshed Flat and back, up past the summit, the highest point of the railway line at 406 metres above sea level, over French's Bridge, built in 1879 with a 12.2 metre span of wrought iron and masonry abutments, through the Pichi Richi Township, once a thriving settlement with a brewery and pubs, and of course Woolshed Flat, the halfway point of the line, with sidings by the main line and a turning triangle built by PRR. The original Fettler Cottage closest to the tracks is the oldest remaining railway building, and it dates back to 1878. And it's here we enjoyed freshly made scones and tea, whilst the hard-working volunteers turn the steam engine around to hook up for our return journey. Once we arrived back in Hawker, it was time to fill the caravan and jerry cans with water, because the following day we were heading deeper into the Flinders Ranges. But not before meeting 10-year-old Michaela, the opal hunter. G'day everyone, Artist Wayne here with a very special guest.
Hello, I am Michaela. I am special because I am a Ram fan, man fan.
Yo! Ah, what a kid! Hey! The following morning, after Michaela returned our ram, Jackie and I left beautiful Hawker and drove the whopping distance of 20 kilometres to our next destination. Well, we've just left Hawker after a fantastic stay, and in fact, before we left, we visited the Jeff Morgan Gallery, and it is amazing. We got the heads up about the gallery when we were in Port Augusta, and young fella we bought some bike parts off. He told us all about it and all the places to go. But Jeff's art is just mind-blowing, and he has taken it to a new level. So if ever you're in Hawker, you must go and check it out. And whilst we're on the subject of art, well, I'll be doing a very special painting for my Ram Van Man fan, Michaela. But more on that later, because we've arrived at Mount Little Station. It's only 20 minutes from Hawker via the Outback Highway. A working sheep and cattle station, as well as offering tourist accommodation, camping, tours, four-wheel drive tracks and a station life experience. The perfect location for day trips to Hawker, Parachilna, Blenman and Central Flinders Ranges National Park via scenic drives all within an hour of the property. So after a 5-kilometre drive from the road to the homestead, we met Kelly and were allocated the perfect campsite. Then it was down to business. Getting the caravan in its perfect position is very important, so we like to really think about it. There you go, my fellow travellers. This would be our view for the next week or so, and oh, what a view it was. With a huge campsite, amenities close by, it was certainly going to be an easy job to make Mount Little Station our home. Welcome to the Elders Ranges. Jackie and I would settle in nicely, and the following day it'd be time to start exploring this amazing property. We're on our first walk here at Mount Little Station, and it's just a gorgeous property. The gates are right up there, above that. Ah, how nice is this? Holy dooly. We'll come back here one night and take some photos. Camp just over there, you can just see the ram. A beautiful spot. Today we walked right over through that gorge there. Ah, it's magnificent. Our first full day here, and we're heading to the tavern for pizza. Yes, that's what they do out here on Mount Little Station. Hopefully we find the tavern and get a load of this sunset. Every Wednesday and Saturday nights, Mount Little Station puts on a pizza feast, and it is not to be missed. Bugger walking today. At over 23,000 acres, Mount Little Station is way too big. Today we were doing a full day of exploring on our e-bikes. But you need to be careful. There are telltale signs of how harsh this country can be.
Where are we going, love?
Going cross country. Lucky for wife Jackie, she was with a seasoned explorer and navigator. Not to mention an alpha male. I can see the graves, Jackie. They're over there.
Oh, awesome.
We made it. Beautiful old cemetery. An old cemetery in the middle of nowhere. Remnants of the early settlers and pastoralists' harsh life. Clearly they were practical, tough and competitive, because the rocky country out here is unforgiving and water scarce. And do you remember when I thorn-proofed our bike tyres back in Broken Hill? That was over 6 months ago, and Jackie and I haven't had a flat tyre since. There's no way we could be riding out here without it. Out here it's as tough as it gets on tyres. So that was money well spent. Ooh. This is such a big property, it's hard to find our caravan. Eventually we did find our caravan just before nightfall and settled in for another glorious night, sitting outside around the campfire under a million stars. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. More push bike exploring on this beautiful property at Mount Little Station. Absolutely gorgeous day. However, we did have a very, very windy night. It blew a gale. Just waiting for Jackie. Today, Jackie and I were exploring further and delving deeper into beautiful Mount Little Station's history. Roy Stone lived here for many years. He died in 2019 in his 90s. His family history goes back to the original settlers of the area. You're on camera, love. This is the second farm we've been to that has a skull tree. Let's see how good this one is. Because the last one, which was Trilby Station, it had a crocodile skull. In some cultures, the skull is believed to possess protective qualities, a talisman that wards off evil spirits. And as Jackie and I journeyed on, we finally arrived at Roy's homestead and museum. And just between you and I reckon this area could be used as the backdrop for an Outback Australian horror film. Looky in here. Hey? Roy's museum, love.
Roy's relics.
What a ripper place. Absolutely terrific. Ah! They're big rats.
Rats, Rika?
Yeah. Oh, rabbits. Hares.
Yeah.
Rats. Could make a horror movie in here. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? That's where there'd be some bodies.
This is the Mount Little store.
Is this a store for ants? Another full day of exploring the wonderful sheep and cattle farm of Mount Little Station. And we'd only just scratched the surface. Tomorrow we'd need to jump in the ram and go a little further. We'd already been here for 5 days and there was still so much more to see. Here we are on Mount Little Station, and we've had 2 days of absolute blowing gale, and today it's freezing cold. But we're doing a bit of exploring and we'll head into town for lunch because tomorrow we leave and we head deeper into the Flinders Ranges. Now we think that might have been the old Quorn Railway Bridge. Yes, it certainly is the remains of the old Quorn Railway Bridge. Jackie and I were taking a step back into Australia's history and visiting the bridge that spanned Hookena Creek and then ran past the Hookena Township, which are now just ruins. This is all that's left of the original Quorn rail line, which reached Hawker in June 1880, Beltana in July 1881, Maree in January 1884 and Oodnadatta in January 1891. Work on the extension to Alice Springs began in 1926 and was completed in 1929. Until then, the final leg of the train journey was still made by camel. Although there were plans from the beginning to extend the line to Darwin, by the time the extension to Alice Springs had been completed, the Quorn was losing money and the plans for further extension to Darwin were suspended indefinitely.
We're looking at the ruins of the Hookena Township.
There's just something nice about looking at old buildings. Collapsed buildings. The history. Here we go. Old railway spikes. just been scratching around again. Found another 2 spikes and these sleepers, so there you go, they go in there. Now look at that, there's another one.
What is it?
Come and have a look. That's a railway spike from the old Garn Railway. Is it Garn or Gan?
I think it's Garn.
Put that over with those other 2. There's so much to see and do on this beautiful Mount Little cattle and sheep station. But unfortunately, Jackie and I had run out of time. So we missed things like the Goat and Goon Saloon, Harvey's Rocks, the River of Rocks, Yellow Valley, Hidden Valley. Well, of course we didn't do that because it was hiding. Hell, we didn't even get to see the Pirate Cave. Not to worry though, it just means Jackie and I need to return, and we will. The vastness and beauty of the Flinders Ranges cannot be captured with a video camera. You have to see it for yourself. And I couldn't wait to see more. So now I guess it's time to give our past 2 weeks stay in Hawker and Mount Little Station a score. This past 2 weeks in the Flinders Ranges has been amazing. I love Hawker, and Mount Little Station was beautiful. Plus, we got to meet our new Ram Van Man fan, young Michaela. And I'll be doing a painting for Michaela that we will share in an upcoming episode. It's a big 5 out of 5 from me.
And I've also had a fantastic 2 weeks. A highlight for me was going on the Pichi Railway from Hawker to Woolshed Flat. So again, it's a 5 out of 5 from me. So until next time everyone, take care.
See ya!
Bye.